Hey guys, welcome to Twitter, our first live feed that we've done from Endless Travel on YouTube. And today, we are going to be answering the top 5 questions I got asked about traveling to Vietnam, what you should know. I don't know how long I can even record on Twitter, so let's make this quick. Number 1, what are the must-see destinations in Vietnam for a first-time traveler? As a tourist, you just want to see this stuff and get the hell out of there. Saigon is a good spot to see chaos. It's a dirty, loud city, and nothing makes sense. If you head up north about 200 kilometers, you'll see Phan Thiet. Definitely have to go there. One of the most beautiful beaches, I think, in Vietnam. And once you make your way up to the center area, you have Da Nang. Da Nang is a westernized Russian-based city. It's a really beautiful spot. It's a lot cleaner than most of Vietnam. And you also have Hoi An right next door, which is a second favorite beach in all of Vietnam. And if you get to the north, you got Hanoi. Definitely check it out. It's a way better spot than Saigon. It just has seasons, so it does rain out there. And then right next door, you have Ha Long Bay. Ha Long Bay has to be one of the most overrated spots I've seen in all of Asia. And I lived there for 2 months on top of that. So this isn't me saying I went there for a day and this was it. It sucks. The food sucks. It's always cold. The tourists there, I don't know why, they're all angry. The staff hate everybody. And the big Ha Long Bay tour thing, after you do it once, there's nothing left to do there. Number 2, the best time of the year to visit Vietnam and why. And this one, it doesn't matter. Year round. The south of Vietnam, it's always hot year round. Even during rainy season, it's pretty hot. North side though, winter time, it is cold there. It snowed like 4 years ago, I believe it was. But usually the rainfall is pretty intense. It's pretty heavy, especially Hanoi and Ha Long Bay area. Hai Phong isn't too bad, which is just south of Ha Long Bay. March, June, July, August are pretty good. And then when you get to November, December, January, it's going to start getting colder in the south. It'll still be warm, but it'll be colder. In the north, it's just dumping rain. When it rains, it pours in North Vietnam. Number 3, how can travelers experience authentic Vietnamese cuisine and street food while ensuring food safety? Don't eat any of it. Vietnam food is some of the dirtiest. If you guys have seen channels like ADV China and whatnot, they talk about they pull oil out of the sewers and stuff like that, pull oil out of trash, they recycle hot pot water. That stuff happens in Vietnam too. Street markets typically sell like vegetables and food and meat, stuff like that. It's not maintained, it's on the ground, it's in the sun like I said. And a lot of shopping centers near these markets will buy their food from there and then wash it and put it into their refrigerators. Doesn't mean it's clean. In general, Vietnamese food it's healthy on paper. Like pho is one of the healthiest foods in Southeast Asia. But because of the ingredients in Vietnam and how they prepare the foods, it's typically not. Pho in the South is coated in sugar. It is made with borderline rotten vegetables sometimes. And the meat usually sits out all day, flies on it, all that good stuff. I don't know if that's good. Even expensive restaurants are questionable. Health standards, there are no health standards. Vietnam talks about having them. The police, when they come there, they see it. They just take bribe money and then they walk away. They don't even care. They just want that cash. Good luck. Number 4, what cultural etiquette should travelers be aware of to show respect to the locals? I'm going to sound so rude with this one. Because I've lived in Vietnam for 6-7 years. I've grown up in Vietnamese culture for like 17 years before I even went to Vietnam. There is no real respect levels. Now, if you're going to like friends and family and weddings and like that, obviously kind of do what the locals do. If you're ever going to take a drink of beer, you always kind of like yo with the other person. You don't just sit there drink by yourself while you're with a group. If you're eating food, it's polite to give other people food. So if it's like big shrimp, like pass the shrimp on different plates, stuff like that. Nobody says please and thank you really in Vietnamese. Even the language, that's one thing about the language. It's like cho tôi pho. It just means like give me pho, give me soup, right? Even the language traditionally is rather rude. Well, not rude, but it's direct. Etiquette, just kind of do what everybody else does, unless it seems weird. Really just act like you would back home. Number 5, what are some unique off the beat path experiences, hidden gems that travelers might not know about? Oh, I love this. So Vietnam is one of my favorite countries to visit. Maybe it's because I'm just a little biased about growing up in the culture and being there for 7-8 years. I will say there's a lot of great things. Lai Châu, the backyard is China. And if you go east to Sapa and then go a little farther east, there's Lao Cai. Lao Cai has a border where you can just walk into China. It's $5 for an American. They give you a day stamp. They don't expire your Vietnam visa, so you can come back. You're in China. I don't know if you can do that now in 2023 because of the whole pandemic and whatnot, so I don't know the rules on that. But that's one cool thing. If you go to the west of Vietnam, central Vietnam near Da Lat, there's actually the world's largest cave. It was just discovered like 3 or 4 years ago. I think that's awesome. Unfortunately, because of it being new, there's like a 2 to 3 year wait to get on to actually get in there. There's a waiting list, and it can run you between $2,000 to $5,000 per ticket. It's per group, I guess, like if you're bringing your family. I've never personally seen it. I've seen around it, but I've never been able to go into it. Apparently, it's huge. If you look at the images, that's kind of cool. Hopefully, that answers your questions. Those were the top 5 things. Check out the YouTube channel. I'll put these surveys up once in a while. We're going to start answering more of these on Twitter because it's really hard to comment and talk to you guys on YouTube. There's not really a messaging system over there. Make sure you follow along on this Twitter. If you don't know who I am, you're just randomly seeing this, check the link in my bio. Hit the YouTube channel, man. We travel all over Southeast Asia.